Hey everybody, what is going on? Welcome to another live Tom's World. I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're enjoying your last day of the weekend. For me, it was my first day at work for the week, so it wasn't as bad today as it could have been. Apparently, because of the coolness of yesterday, there wasn't a whole lot of people there at the park, so it wasn't that bad of a cleanup today. It was still a cleanup. Don't get me wrong, but we've had worse in the last week or so. So it was kind of almost pleasant, almost. So I just figured I'd come on here for a short live feed and see what everyone is up to. Maybe we could talk a little bit about the videos that I've just recently done. The two videos, I know we talked about them the last time I went live, but I've looked into it more, and in the last video, while I was trying to find the ruins of the doctor's house, there apparently is no ruins to speak of outside of the little piles that they had outside of the woods. I don't know what they intend on doing with that stuff. They've had it there since, I'd say, at least the last few months. They've had these piles there, maybe longer. Some of those piles I think have been there a little while. That big dirt pile is recent in the last few months, so maybe 4 months at most. But it's definitely interesting to look into the history. I mean, a lot of people, when they think of Byberry Hospital or Philadelphia State Hospital at Byberry, however you want to put that moniker on there, they mostly think of the buildings that were on the other side of the boulevard, because they were the ones that were there for most of the lives of people within my age range. I'm 48. Some of the older buildings were there, but they were hidden, and they were more so in, like, say, my sister's crowd. Like they knew of them. We knew of them. We didn't know where exactly they were. And Benjamin Rush State Park did not exist at that point. Now, I mean, obviously the land existed, but as a state park, it didn't exist at that point. And the community gardens were there. The Flyers Club was there, but it had no roads like it does now. And it's just interesting to see that those two spots, the superintendent's house and where the doctor's house was, are just like a squared off area of woods, basically. If you want to call them woods. I mean, it's just like a small wooded area, we'll say. Diving into the history once again, in multiple points of my life, I've found myself looking into the history of Byberry, but never really delving too deep into it. But I think I should. I think I should look deep into it, and I should try to use some of the footage that I have from my videos and maybe show pictures of what these places used to look like. And this would include the abandoned prison farm, because that was also part of Byberry at one point. It was at the end of its lifespan, more so for Holmesburg prison. They would bus prisoners there to do the work on the farm and stuff like that, and they'd give the food that they grew out to the different prisons in the area and the zoo and like all different places. So like it was for good benefit that they did all this, and they got to be out in the fresh air instead of being cooped up in a jail. So like they kind of had that benefit, and that's something that you don't really hear of much anymore. If somebody goes to prison, that's it. They're in there. There's no working like chain gang like they used to have way back in the day. But at least you'd have fresh air and stuff like that. You'd just be working your butt off, and that's what they did at this farm. But I'm sure it was a lot more laid back than a chain gang. But before that, they used that for Byberry patients, to get them out in the fresh air, get them doing some farm work and stuff like that. And I guess they probably used that food for their hospital there. Hey, Chris, what's going on? Doing all right? Had another day, another Sunday. Wasn't as bad as it was the last couple of weeks, but still, trash packed, a couple of the pictures that you would show me, like the prison farm, well, the farm that they had there, and now I understand what you were talking about with the farmhouse and everything. That was what became the abandoned prison farm, and I have a couple videos on that. And if you go back and you watch those videos, you'll see that when you first come into where that area is, that was the main barn. It was what they called a bank barn, and I actually had to look up what a bank barn was because I don't know what the heck a bank barn is. Is it got a vault in it? Like, I didn't know, you know. But it turns out what a bank barn is really is it has two levels in the barn, and they have one entrance that goes to the second floor and one entrance that goes to the first floor. Basically, that's a bank barn, and that's what they had there. And then they just added on to it, and it was a very very interesting adventure going there. And I'll probably go there again at some point. I'm going to let some time pass because it doesn't really change much, you know, outside of the graffiti there. It does change up quite a bit because people will like white out like a big wall and then they'll just start all over again. Kind of like Graffiti Pier. They do the same thing down there. So what's up, Chris? How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing all right. So yeah, that was part of Byberry at one point as well, which we also know that also belonged to the Townsend family. And the Townsend family had sold that area, that whole land, to the Philadelphia State Hospital, commonly known as Byberry. And that was like long before the houses in Parkwood, just on the other side of that farm, were built. I think they were built back in the 60s, early 60s, early to mid 60s. And Byberry goes back to what, 1907 is when they first opened. And I really would like to see like if people have like old footage of that. Like I've tried to look it up. There's like most of videos that you see when you try to look up Byberry or Philadelphia State Hospital, it's of people roaming the abandoned buildings. You know, there's no like actual footage of being on the grounds or of patients and stuff like that. There's a lot of still pictures. Don't get me wrong, tons of still pictures, but no real footage to speak of. But that would be interesting. Not as interesting to me though as seeing old footage of Serobia over in the Chamonix State Park when it was like still owned by Robert Logan and run by him and everything. That I would love to see that, just to have actual moving pictures so that like I can line it up to things and I can make sure I get like accurate depictions of where everything was and I could see it for myself. Would be phenomenal, but like apparently that does not exist. One Chris saying hi to another Chris here. So I guess also in starting out on this live feed, like I said, this may not be very long. I'm not going to get into the details why. We'll just say that sometimes taking care of parents, you know, you tend to have to like cut your own things short. And I mean, everything's okay with that. He's perfectly fine. But I won't get into the details. We'll just we'll just say he could use some attention, you know. But in starting off this, I could say if anybody here would like to support the channel, there are multiple ways that you can support my YouTube channel. Firstly, we have my merch shop, which the link is in the description. And let me get that link for you, and I can put it up here in the chat. I just have to go to this video, actually. Well, any of my videos recently, I guess. And let me pause that so I don't get bothered by the music that was playing on the ad for my video. Wow, where did that come from? There's like, that's a super long URL. I think it's just this. Let me try this real quick. Yes, It is. Okay. So here is the link for my merch shop. You can go in there. You can check out all the different stuff I have. I have two different designs right now. I have one with my my logo, and which you might be seeing down in here if this is oriented the right way. But it's also just like the main image for my channel. I have all different kinds of t-shirts, hoodies, mugs. I mean, all kinds of stuff. I also have another design where it's using the same font that I use for everything on my channel, like when I make my thumbnails and stuff, and it says "Exploring His Life." I've sold one hoodie of each of those designs so far, and that's it. But that's okay, you know. It's all about putting that out there for all of you, more so than it is for me, because I don't make much money off of them at all. Really, I've lowered the prices down as much as I could, pretty much, and so I'm getting very little from it. It's more about just getting my brand out there. But also, if you wanted to support the channel, somewhere down below the video or below the chat, you'll see a little thing with a $sign on it, and you could do like a super chat or a super sticker, and you can donate whatever you wanted to, like $1.99 on, or what. You might even be able to do less than that. I'm not sure. You could do that on every one of my videos. Underneath the video, there is a little thing that has a $sign that says thanks. That's a super thanks. So you could always donate to the channel that way. But also, in supporting my channel, you could always share out my videos, share out the link to my channel, get it out there for people that may not have seen it, that you think might enjoy the types of videos that I do. So these are all the different ways that you could support the channel. And in doing any one of those is very, very much appreciated. Let's see, I know what you mean. My mother's in the hospital again. Oh, I'm so sorry, brother. I really am. I can understand. I mean, right now, Dad's home. I mean, he hasn't had to go to the hospital for anything for a long time. Knock on wood. But, you know, like I said, I don't want to get into specifics because he would kill me if I did. Not that he'll ever see this, but still. And it's nothing gross or nasty or anything like that. Just saying, you know, it's just kind of want to keep an eye on him. And it might just be me. You know, I worry. That's what I do. I've between me and my sisters, we have taken care of my dad quite a bit. He's been through a lot of things. He's been through a blood cancer. He's been through an eye infection where he lost his eye. He's during that time he went through kidney failure, and everything's fine now with all of that. But you know, he's been through a lot in the last handful of years, and me being the one living here with him, you know, I'm here most of the time. So I can't help but worry. You know, it's just what I do. You know, much like a parent worries about a kid. You know, once you get older, it kind of reverses a little. So, but anyway, so yes, those are the ways you can support my channel: the super chats, the super thanks, the super stickers, which you can find down here or under the video. I'm not sure where it's oriented actually during a live feed. I think it's under the chat. I think it looks like a $sign that's underneath the chat that's going on this side. Yeah, and always sharing stuff out. You know, I love the fact that so many people have had interest in my videos. It makes me happy knowing that I'm actually contributing to somebody's entertainment. And that's the real deal. You know, it's not about the money you make from it, because to date, I have not really made money from it. Even though I've been monetized, I still have not gotten to that threshold of money making yet where they're actually paying me. But that's okay. I mean, even if it never happened, even if they didn't have monetization, I would still do this because I love making these videos. I love putting them out there. I love the fact that people enjoy them and all the supporting comments that I get from all of you. It's humbling, really, and I appreciate each and every one of you for that. This week I have not made a video, obviously. I had an idea for a video. It just hasn't. I haven't made it happen yet. It does have to do with Neshaminy State Park and Sorobia. I found something. I'll just leave it at that. I found something, and I have not yet unearthed what I have found, and I will be. And it could be really, really cool, or it could be not so cool. I don't know until I unearth it. But from what I was seeing, it looks pretty cool. So, and we'll just leave it the suspense at that. So, but cheers to the end of another week, or the beginning of mine. And how is everybody doing out there? I know there's more people in here than just Chris and Chris. I could see that there are 7 people here right now, and just chime in. You can say hi. Let me know how you're doing. If anybody has any suggestions of videos in local places, I'm always up for suggestions. If anybody has any questions about videos that I have done, feel free to ask the questions. You can always ask them in the comments of the videos, because I read every single comment that I get. Anytime you see that your comment has gotten like a thumbs up or whatever, that's always going to be me. I thumbs up every comment. Sometimes when they strike the little heartstrings, I'll put a little heart on there, But Carol Smith, one of the people who has actually bought one of my my pieces of merch. She got the Exploring His Life hoodie, and she sent me a picture of it. And I'm glad to actually physically see it in person, because this is all set up online and everything. I don't actually have the merch. It's done through a third party and everything. So I love seeing when people get it. Well, it's only been 2 people so far, but like it's actually a rush for me. But good evening, Carol. I hope you're doing well. And I hope that hoodie is very, very comfortable. I think that was the heavy duty hoodie, if I remember right. And that was that. I like that design too. Exploring His Life. I just wish the font, I could make it bigger on there, but that's as big as I could make it. But what are you gonna do? It's still a sharp looking hoodie. I think sharp looking. Wow, that sounds like my dad. Oy. Yep. You said that you can't wait for your next camping trip. Yep. But hopefully it's a satisfactory product. Hopefully you are happy with your purchase, and I thank you for that. Yes, I like the saying too. Exploring definitely is life. I mean, when you think about it in many different aspects, in many different ways, life is nothing but exploration. See, Chris is doing good. Just went to see your wife yesterday. We went to a nice Mexican restaurant and then a bar, went to a place, and I drank too much tequila and passed out. I would know nothing about that, because I don't ever touch alcohol. Ever, ever, ever. I don't touch it at all. I swear. Anyway, and if you believe that, I have a bridge I want to sell you. I am a Philly boy. I mean, come on. Well, that's good. That's good that it came in a reasonable amount of time. I have yet to buy any of the merch for myself. I'd mentioned before, I definitely do want to get a hat, because the longer my hair gets, which you can see, it's. I mean, right now it's brushed back, so you can't see how long it is, but the top is coming down to here now. And the longer my hair gets, when the wind blows, it gets messed up very easily. Or when I'm out there exploring and stuff, it's like in my face and tickling my nose and my eyes and my ears. So like, if I had a Tom's World hat, it wouldn't be a problem. I do have hats that I use for work, but I'm not allowed to use them in my videos, so I don't wear them. I could just bring it and wear it once I'm not on the video, because I'm only in the video for the beginning parts. But yeah, I don't know. But I will definitely be getting a Tom's World hat, because I'd like to wear it like out and about and stuff like that. People see it, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I know that channel," and they may not recognize the guy, but most people do though when they see me. Even though I probably have a bigger belly than most people might think when they watch me on my videos. I mean, it's not monstrously huge, but it's a good size. That's the beer. Um, but I do get recognized. I even got recognized one time over at Lou's Farm Mart on 13, and I was just looking horrific. I was on my way that day to go away with the girlfriend, and I had to stop early morning into Lou's Farm Market to get some stuff for Dad, so he had like food and everything for the time while we were gone that he could easily prepare. And and I had like a hat on and I had sunglasses on and everything, and they just turned to me like, "Hey, I really like your videos." It's like, wow, am I that recognizable? Well, hey, that's all right though. I don't do it for that reason, but it's just one of the perks, when you're recognized for what you do. Definitely does make me happy. Tommy and the 215. Get like a rap song made out of that and have it as my intro. That would be funny. Yep, the spider web swatter. I definitely need one of them. I know Shay Nicole. Well, I know of it. That's on the same side of 13 as Lou's, right? It's like down closer to like Station Ave, or it was. I don't even know if it's still around. I haven't really taken notice when I go by. But I am pretty familiar with the area. I don't live far from there. Like I can look in that direction if I just look out this back window and look that way. That's pretty much Ben Salem that way, and then that way is further into the northeast. So I've also been searching around, trying to come up with like newer, cooler type places and stuff like that. Problem is there's just like not a whole lot of like ruins type stuff around, and I know that I did a poll one time on my community tab for my page, asking people, what types of videos they like more, and a lot of people did like the ruins type videos. Mostly, I think everybody just liked the exploring videos. But the problem with the exploring videos is like you go into a woods and like one woods looks the same as the next woods when there's nothing that stands out, nothing that makes it unique. Now it's different when there's a creek going through it. And most of the places I go, the Pequesson Creek will be going through it, or Neshaminy Creek. Funny you should say that I need a hiking stick, because I do have one. I think it's up here. Let me take a look over here real quick. I just never take it out. One second. All right. I have found my stick. I have I have multiple walking sticks actually. Oh, I just knocked the earbud right out of my ear. All right, got to put it in the right way. But through a lot of my walkings in the wooded areas, even before I started my channel, and I would take pictures and stuff, I would pick up sticks that I thought were pretty cool or whatever, like walking sticks, just so I don't have to try to find one when I would go in there, because I would use it to get rid of spider webs in front of me, like if I could anticipate them and stuff like that. And then I had the idea of maybe starting like a little walking stick shop. I never really went through with it. I bought myself like a Dremel tool and all that, and I started with this one first, and I put a bunch of shellac on it. But I think it's very cool. You can see where the vines grew through it. Now this would not be a weight bearing walking stick, mind you. It's very, very light. And at the end, you can see I put a little bit of like, what's that? Flex Seal. on there, because that's the part, and then this is the part you would hang on to when you're walking, and or you can hold it that way, either way, or like that. But it looks like a wizard's staff. I don't know, like maybe it's just missing like a jewel in that part. Um, but that's one of the many walking sticks that I picked up over time, and I just never did anything with them. They're not all as cool looking as that. Some are pretty plain looking, and some are weight bearing as well. I wouldn't guarantee it, but some of them are pretty thick, and I have a bunch of them down in my basement. So, Johnny's on here, as in Johnny, that Jim's roommate. That would be cool if he's on here. But yeah, I definitely do have walking sticks. I just rarely ever take them out anymore because it's tough, because most of the time I'll be walking around. I got a water bottle in one hand. I got my gimbal in the other hand, usually the other way around, because I'm usually using my right hand for the gimbal, but I do switch it up sometimes. And it's tough to do that and then also have a walking stick. But I did use them quite often for some time. Really? That is very, very awesome. The Philly captain is a cool guy, despite the fact that that he got to hang out with Adam the Woo like a few times while he was here, and I did not. But I digress. I understand. I'm not like the caliber of YouTuber that they are, but the Philly captain, he's a pretty cool guy. He's talked about wanting to get to Dinosaur Lake at one point, even though there's no lake left to speak of, but he still has yet to be there in his videos. So I've let him know multiple times if he does still want to do that, I can show him the way to get across, as long as he wears like shoes that he doesn't care about, just in case like he slips into the creek as we're crossing it. But yeah, he's I still do watch his videos quite often. Still watch Adam the Woos. I hold no malice towards them at all. I think at one time on one of his live feeds, he said that I'm like the PG version of him because I don't curse in any of my videos or anything like that. Now, if you were to see me on the other live feeds that I do for BB3 TV on Facebook and YouTube, different story. Different guy. You will see me, drinking the entire time. You might see me having a cigarette here and there. I'll be cursing, dropping F-bombs left and right and stuff like that. But we're more parental advisory there. So, but with my channel, I decided a long time ago that, I was just not going to curse at all. And I was not going to trespass at all in any of my videos. So I didn't want any of that to be in my videos. So just in case I ever got monetized and I didn't know, what it was, I never expected to get monetized on YouTube, to be honest. I've said it before. I never even expected to get past 20 subscribers when I started this thing. And now I'm like getting close to 1,600, which still blows my mind. And now I'm just waiting for that next big video, the next one that gets like 1,500 views in a couple days or something like that. That would be phenomenal, and would help me out greatly. It's on me to make that video, to make one that's that interesting, that's going to bring people in. Yo, what's up, Johnny? How you doing, man? We got to hang out. It's been a minute, man. I haven't seen you since we had the memorial party thing for Jim. Yes, that Johnny, of course. Well, I'd probably be more prone to do a backpack than a fanny pack, to be honest. I've made fun. Well, I don't want to say I've made fun, but I've made fun of other guys that have fanny packs. We'll say, including my own uncle, who's been passed for some time now. Um, I just used to joke around with him about it. Yeah, no, I don't care if they become the most stylish thing. I will sooner wear Crocs before I will put on a fanny pack, and I can't stand Crocs because don't get me started on that. They look like they're made by Fisher Price. They remind me of when I was a kid in the early '80s. They had these Fisher Price skates that you would clip onto your sneakers. Like that to me is the equivalent of Crocs. And I know a lot of people like them. I'm not knocking anybody for liking them, but just for me, it doesn't work. I don't know. Yeah, no, I wouldn't care what they said on them. I would sooner just get a backpack, which I think I have in my merch shop. I think I do. I think I have Tom's World backpacks. Let's let's check that out real quick. Let me see here. Let me share the screen with you and see what I'm looking at. See, share screen. And yes, that one. There we go. Now you can see what I'm seeing. Okay. So just to explain, when you first come to my shop, this is what you're greeted with. I have the two different designs, which you could just hit shop now or shop more on any of these buttons. But you scroll down, you see the Tom's World design, you see Exploring His Life. And you can shop either one of those designs by clicking on these pluses here. But for Tom's World, I'm pretty sure, and I can't see any comments right now. So if anybody's saying anything, when I come back to that screen, I'll be able to see it. I have a bunch of, well, apparently the tote bag is out of stock. I don't remember doing a crop shirt, but I guess I did. Water bottles, mugs, beanies. Oh, there we go. You can get it in blue, red, or gray. Gray looks pretty cool. I think I would probably get that. It's a computer backpack, but still, it's a backpack. I think that's the only. Oh Christ! It made me go all the way back up to the top. I got a little pillow here. I want one of them too, most definitely, and a mug. Maybe a mouse pad. Definitely a hoodie. Yeah, I think we have this bag, this little cotton drawstring one, and I think that comes in different colors too. Yeah, so you can get it in green, pink, blue, gray, black, and khaki kind of color. And then it takes me all the way back to the top. But that's all right because we were pretty much at the bottom because I saw the face masks. We're not really using them anymore, but still, and there's phone cases too for different phones. The tie-dye is pretty cool. And of course, what live feed would be complete without a call from Dom while I'm doing my live feed? It's becoming a staple now. Oh, Dom, if you're watching this and you're doing this on purpose, hang up now because you're still ringing in my ear. There you go. That shows you are watching. I'll call you back, man. Don't worry. Let's see. Where were we at? How much weed can fit in the backpack? To be honest, I couldn't tell you. You'd have to go to the to the specifications of it and then try to figure it out on your own, as to how much anything could fit in that. See, got to get a hat and a backpack, and then I can have my water in there. Maybe I can even get like one of those little water pouches that just have the little plastic tube coming out, and I can just have it right there and just do that. Yeah, well, I guess that's one way of looking at it. Yeah, now everything's just like reversed, huh? It is kind of crazy. Oh man. But yeah, as always, like I was saying before, anybody has suggestions about any locations within a reasonable area of Northeast Philly, Ben Salem. I'm always willing to go check out new places, even if it's just a woods that you hung out in and you'd like to see it. Maybe you don't live in the area anymore, or you don't go into those woods anymore, and you're just curious what they look like. I can always check out places like that. I do have some places still on the back burner that I am going to be going to at some point that aren't very far. There's still the woods over off of Byberry Road, the Byberry Road that leads up to Bustleton, right behind where the old firehouse was. The woods in there. There's some things in there I want to check out. There's a couple of other places too. But also, as I said earlier, if you would like to support the channel, there's multiple ways you could do that. You could go to the merch shop that I just showed. And once again, here is the link for that merch shop. You can go check that out. I've lowered prices down as best I could because it's not about making money for me. It's just about getting more merchandise out to everybody and just having other people see my logo or even just that one that says Exploring His Life is cool. If you would like to support the channel in other ways, monetarily, you can support it by over here in the chat. Underneath it, you'll see a little thing with a $sign on it. It'll say like super sticker or super chat, something like that. You can do either one of those, and you can donate whatever you would like to. Everything is always appreciated. On any one of my videos, right underneath the video, I think it's right in this area when you're watching the video. There'll be a little $sign that says thanks. That's a super thanks. You can always donate whatever you want to. At that point, I believe they allow you to put in whatever denomination you'd like to. The other way that you could support the channel is just by word of mouth or sharing the links to any one of my videos or even just the channel itself to anyone that you might think might enjoy these types of videos, or just like on your page, your Facebook page or whatever in general. The more people that see my videos, the better it is for me with the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, well, we'll see. Thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'm not too far off from getting out of here anyway. I've been on here for a little over a half hour. Maybe I'll go like another 10 minutes or so. Definitely want to go down and check on Dad, see what's up. And in the meantime, if anybody has any questions or comments or anything, please feel free. Let them fly. And I'm definitely tonight going to be watching the Philly Captains Friday night live feed. I want to see what he said. I know that it was said that he enjoys my videos. Said this comment. But I already knew that he watched, my videos. He's made comments on it when I go on there and I comment on his live feeds and stuff like that. He's just never graced my live feed with his presence, but maybe someday it'll just pop in, a little Philly Captain on the bottom. It'll say, "Here we are. This is Tom's World," something like that. That wasn't a very good impression of the Philly Captain, but hey, I do my best. I've lost the ability to do a lot of impressions as I've gotten older. I still hang on to some. I still have like Beavis and Butthead in my repertoire. I got Carl from Sling Blade, um, King of the Hill, Hank Hill. Now I'll tell you what, I got some stuff in there, but yeah. So what's everybody up to? You're all staring at me and nobody's saying anything. One thing I will say though, for anyone watching these that goes to any parks, they don't even, I'm not even just talking state parks. Any park that you go to, especially if they're the type where you can go there and you can barbecue and they have like tables and stuff like that, you'd be doing the staff a great favor. If while you're out there with your family and friends and stuff like that, that you could monitor what's going on. Like if people are just throwing stuff on the ground or letting stuff fall on the ground and not picking it up, give them a little nudge. Be like, yo, man, I know there's people that are paid to clean this place up, but we don't have to make it as hard for them as we can. It's things are improving a little bit in that factor over at Neshaminy State Park. Not a lot, but enough to notice. People still trash that place though. It's crazy. It really is. So when you're out at parks and stuff like that, just be mindful of what your party is doing, and if they're littering and stuff like that, just give them a little nudge. Say, yo, pick that up, put it in the trash. There's a trash can right there. Especially in the Neshaminy State Park. I mean, we have. I was told at one point by one of the rangers that we have more trash cans in our little state park than any other state park in Pennsylvania, and yet we get trashed like I'll say probably one of the most trashed in the state. But do I have any information about what was on the land where those huge trees are on Dunks Ferry Road next to St. Anselm's? Well, I mean, not far from there is where the prison farm was. So a lot of that land was owned by Byberry at one point. Actually, and before Byberry, a lot of that land, that was the Townsend family's farm. So if it's on the same side as St. Anselm's, if that's what you're talking about, if it's on the other side of St. Anselm's, down past the soccer fields, then that's the Potter's Field right there, which I think you know of. I've thought about going out there. Problem is, they don't really only open it up when they're having their paranormal events. And I know a little bit about paranormal because the page that I help run on Facebook and on YouTube, BB3 TV. A lot of the people that we've had over time that do shows there have been paranormal and stuff like that. And we still have some on there, so you can go check that out if you're into that. It's just BB3 TV. But when they do open it up for the paranormal, they don't open up every area of it. They only open up certain areas of it, and it's geared towards like making money, of course. If I could get in there and just do like a free walk around, that would be great. I mean, even if I just did the outside and got in a couple buildings, it would still be an interesting video. But there's like a big handful of people that have already done that. But I would still do it for the experience, to be honest. Yes, I did. That's another thing that I'm going to be looking into. But I know that you said there's not really anything left of it anymore, if I'm correct, if I'm remembering right. But I could still try to go to the location. Maybe if I could find some like pictures that were like taken, and I could stand at the same point and give like a reference of what is now. Oh, okay. So you live over near Fox Chase then. because I actually went to the site when I made the video for the boy in the box. I went to the first started off at the Potter's Field where they took him initially, and then I went to the site where they found him. Um, I'm blanking on the name of the street, but I know it was in Fox Chase. And then I went to the cemetery they took him to, Ivy Hill Cemetery, I think it is. And that was a nice drive to do in the car that I had before the car I have now. That the old Monte Carlo I had that was on its last legs and stuff. But yeah, I still did that. But yeah, it was a sad story, but it's nice that his name is actually now known. So if you're watching this and you have not yet even seen that I did a video on the boy in the box, you can check that out. It's packed with information, pictures, stuff like that. Susquehanna Road. Yes. You are right. It looks a little different than it did in the pictures back when they found him, but you can still kind of match it up. You know, the slant of the hill and everything like that. I don't think that they have that marker for him in the exact right place where he was found, but it's like right in there. Because when I was looking at the pictures that were taken from the road, and you could see the box off to the right, the hill, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't lining up perfect, but that's okay. You know, they still have that there, and that's a good thing. And people, you know, when I went there, it was I think it was after Christmas. In fact, I know it was after Christmas, but not that long after. And people still had toys there that they left for him, and they did the same thing at his current cemetery plot over in Ivy Hills. So yeah, it's nice that people are still caring about that all these years later. I mean, it was one of the most well-known unsolved mysteries in the area for a long time. Now they need to focus their efforts on the girl in the box. Now, the girl in the box was a young black girl that was found headless, I believe, floating in a milk crate, like a wooden milk crate, in the Schuylkill River. I do believe they went looking for her over at that Potter's Field, but I don't think records were kept up the right way, or they weren't filed the right way initially. So you can see when you go to the Potter's Field areas that they've recently dug up, because they look a lot different. And I think they were looking for her so that they could do the same process that they did with the boy in the box, you know, extract DNA and stuff like that and try to compare it in a database and see if they could actually find the family. And it would be nice, you know, but there are a lot of unknown bodies in that Potter's Field. And a lot of them that are in there are also from Byberry, but like from what I understand, what they did with the people in Byberry when they passed away, they kind of piled them up until they did like a mass cremation, and they just put the ashes in there, which is kind of sad. Um, well, the buildings that are connected to the self-help center, from what I understand, they have purchased all those buildings, and that's why there's no longer wood covering up the windows, and they actually put glass back in there. So I think they have intentions of redoing that. And a lot of those buildings, or that end of the buildings, were used for the haunted houses that they would have. Like radio stations would sponsor it, like Y100. I think Eagle 106 did it at one point, like, you know, back in the late 80s, early 90s. But yeah, I think they've been renovating it in there. It's just been a very slow process. So I don't know if there's any chance of getting inside of there. I did just recently see that there was a guy that, like, quite a few years back, when the windows were still boarded up and everything, he made a video about it. He has since gone on to become like a pretty big YouTuber. I don't remember what his name is off the top of my head. I had never heard of him before. I just came across it when I was looking up stuff about Byberry. And he had a lot of his facts wrong in the beginning. He was making it sound like that was the main building, but no, it was not. It was like a side building. The main buildings were on the other side of Southampton Road and the other side of the boulevard, as we all know from that map that I had, and I can bring that map up. I still have it. Yeah, let me get this going here and share screen application. There we go. So as you can see, don't know if you're seeing my mouse, but let's see. This is Southampton Road, and this is the boulevard. So this would be the self-help buildings as we know them right now. Let me know if you guys are seeing my mouse. I'll click back over to the comments to see if you are, because that would help to know if you guys are seeing it. Like, are you seeing that little hand on the left-hand side there going up and down? Let me know, and then I'll continue with what I was saying. Yes. All right. Cool. Thank you, Irene. All right. So yeah, this going across here, this is the boulevard. This is Southampton Road going up, and this area would be the self-help buildings as they are right now. Initially, they only had like this portion of it for the self-help, and then all this was the haunted house area, and a lot of it was closed up. So they have since put windows in here and stuff like that. And then you have the little, like you had the laundry facility here. This was a warehouse. This was a garage, which I was actually inside of these buildings at one point with an old friend of mine. And when we were in the garage, there was still like a water pipe that was busted that was spilling out water. So I don't know who was paying for that. But this was the main female area of Byberry, and this was the male end of Byberry. And in between them, you had the main doctor's house, which this was the last video I went trying to find that, and there's nothing there of that. The superintendent's house, which was the video before that had the ruins of this building here. This one here was just a pile of bricks, and then this, I just saw a couple pieces of concrete. I've been over here to the waste or sewage disposal area. I do believe this was part of the sewage treatment, because I came across this when I was there. It's in the ground, and it's like shaped pretty much like that. What became the abandoned prison farm is not on this map. If it was, it would be off like somewhere over here. So yeah, this is the map that I was given, and these are all the different buildings. So anyway, let me close that. Go back to me full screen, and now I can see your comments again. The marker on the other side of the street because of the houses there. Oh, yeah, true. But like where the marker is the same side of the street that they found him. It's just a little. I think it's just a little off on exactly where it is. The abandoned slave African American graveyard. Okay, so actually, it's a freed slave graveyard that was made by the Quakers, the same Quakers that were in my other video of the Byberry Friends Meeting House. They created that graveyard for the freed slaves, which is why there is no headstones. There's been some back and forth about it where some people say, I remember there being headstones, but there was never any headstones there because the Quakers do not use headstones. I mean, don't get it confused. Over at the Byberry Friends Meeting House, there are a lot of graves there that have markers, but in their main area, it's like a courtyard that's like sectioned off by the wall. There's tons of people buried in there, and there's no headstones in those. The headstones that were for on the other side was mostly for the families because they requested it so that they knew exactly where where their family was and stuff like that. But I've been past that, but I didn't know what it was at the time. I know exactly where it is now. And I do intend on going back there and checking it out. I was told that at one point there were some people who volunteered their time to try to clean it up, try to get out all the invasive weeds and everything, try to just make it look nice. I think they did put a sign there, so now you know exactly where it is. But I think they have since stopped taking care of it for one reason or another. This is just all what I've been told because I haven't been back there in quite some time. So I'm going to go back and check it out on my own at some point. Maybe the next video. That way I keep like a little theme going on with the Benjamin Rush State Park stuff. But I do know the woman who started to gain attention for this in the last couple of years. She's another YouTuber. Her YouTube channel is Rustic Ventures, and she's a cool lady. Her and her husband both do the channel. Sometimes their kids are in the videos and stuff, which they're not really kids anymore. They're grown up quite a bit now. I think they're both graduated from high school. But I've enjoyed watching their videos. If it hadn't been for watching their videos, I would have never found the abandoned prison farm. But like I saw where they were on the street, and I did like Google Maps and Street Views and stuff, and I figured it out. So see, maybe if you reach out to either group, you might score a tour. Maybe it's possible. Yes, and that's what we called it. The stuff on the Benjamin Rush side was referred to as Old Byberry, and then the other side was just referred to as Byberry. I don't even think we ever called it New Byberry, or anybody ever did. But those ones on that side of the boulevard, the last ones that were taken down, I've actually been in some of them with some of my friends. Not many times, not as many times as other people were. I know people went there like, quite often. I was only there a small handful of times. The Tire Kingdom, you're talking about the place across from the movie theater on Knights Road? I mean, it's possible. A lot of that land was there wasn't roads separating a lot of that land at that time, so it is very possible. Oh wow, we got involved in all kinds of conversations there, didn't we? From the Boy in the Box to Byberry and all kinds of stuff. Right. Yeah, across Knights Road. Yep. I knew exactly what you meant. Really? Yeah, I haven't been there, well, since my last video I did there. When I stopped by there, I think the last time I was there in a video was when I was doing the whole Edward Morell video, trying to take the path up to where his mansion was, which is where right about where Hancock School is right now. I think that might have been the last time I was there. But yeah, I'd be up for going over there again. That would be a problem. Anyway, I've been on here just about an hour, which is about a half hour longer than I expected. So I'm going to go and go check on Dad. He's probably passed out down there right now because I haven't heard any moving around. But still, got to check up on the parents, right? Plus, I'm not far off from bedtime, maybe about an hour. That gives me about an hour to just decompress while I sit here and, play slot games on Facebook or just watch YouTube videos or something. Because just, us YouTubers, we do watch YouTube videos quite a lot. But yeah, I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me, and for all the interaction and for everything that you guys have done for me, all the comments, all the support. You have all been way more than awesome. And make sure you do go check out my merch shop. If anything tickles your fancy, as they say, just order it, and you'll get it in a timely fashion, as we found out. And the prices should be pretty reasonable. Or, like I said, if you want to support the channel by word of mouth or by sharing links, or you can always do the super thanks that are going to be at the bottom of any one of the videos, like the little $sign that says thanks. Or before I end the video, you can always hit that little $sign that's like over here somewhere and contribute whatever. I mean, there's multiple ways to support the channel, and I appreciate everything that you do for me. And I sincerely thank you all for being a part of Tom's World. So with that, I will get out of here. I will see you all on the next live and in the next video. As I always say, make sure you stay safe, stay healthy, and take care. See you all later.